Welcome everybody to another episode of Enclosed Cosmology. This is actually a special episode, and the episode's title is Shot. So that's a question, and we're going to talk about that in today's stream. But as always, we're going to go ahead and say hello to everyone in our panel before we do. So let's go ahead and start off with the man at the top, Anthony Dickinson. How you doing this Shabbat Shalom, brother?
Sure ain't on the top.
Unfortunately, you're lagging out real right now. So we're gonna stop you for a second and move on to Daryl Lee if you want to maybe try to get into a better spot.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna go over to Daryl Lee for a second so that he can give Anthony a second to talk, or Anthony to get into a better spot. So
dear brother. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. The surprise episode I just found out a few minutes ago. So, anyhow, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for being here, brother. It's gonna definitely be an exciting episode, to talk about. But I think it will be, we're gonna talk about all the sides. So, anyways, while we're waiting for Anthony to go back, we'll get back. We're gonna jump over to Frankie B. How you doing? Shabbat Shalom, brother.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. What's up? What's up, everybody? Shabbat Shalom. We're on Friday Night Live, baby.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting.
We had to have a schedule change. We got moved up in the roster.
Yeah, so we switched this to give those that also do a Saturday, some time as well. But we also saw that not much is going on Friday night, so we decided to move the switch, and I think it'll be a great fit. And we still get to say Shabbat Shalom for most people, so super excited. But anyways,
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah. So Anthony's not back yet, so we're gonna give a little time for him to do so before we get into the topic. So I'll do a little housekeeping while we wait for him, and so pull this information up, and let's share this screen. Wrong screen. This needs to go here. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. I just have to do a little bit of a switcheroo. Let's share screen. All right, so we're almost to 1,000 for Anthony. It's 985. We're trying to reach that 2,500 to get him a lawyer. Now, if you're interested in more information and why we're asking for help for Anthony, the stories here. And he's very open about it. So if you have any questions and you want to ask him, I'm sure he's willing to to talk to you about it. But yeah, we're slowly getting there. All these donations, they really help. They really add up. So we really appreciate those that do and continue to donate. And yeah, so another thing, as you see, we are live on Fridays. Oh, sorry, pulling wrong stuff. So we are live on Fridays now, on both Enclosed Cosmology, our main YouTube channel, as well as on Take on the World. So, make sure you give Take on the World some love as well. Of course, they allow us to stream on their platform and share our puzzle pieces with the community. So it really does mean a lot to us that they give us that, and even their willingness for us to switch over to Fridays. They're just so awesome. So thanks again, Chris and Liz. Everyone go. And then remember, we're still doing that vote. We're only 12 away. Let me pull that back up again. We're only 12 subscribers away before we hit that 500 mark. And it looks like, again, as it is, it's going to be the shofar. So everyone go vote if you don't want it to be the shofar. But that will be given away to one person that is one of the 500 subscribers. Of course, if it's 501, you're still going to be entered. But and you make sure you have to leave a comment on at least one video to be qualified for that drawing. So make sure you do that. But yeah, so just pulling this up. Oops, wrong. There we go. And it looks like it looks like Anthony is still having some issues getting in. But so that was at least the what I got to show for now. I guess we'll go on for now until Anthony gets back, and then we'll kind of. Oh, there he is. Perfect. All right. So Anthony's back with us. If you want to retry, brother, sorry about cutting you off there. You were just roboting really hard. But anyways, if you'd like to say hello to everyone.
Yeah, just Shabbat Shalom to everybody. I'm super happy to be here. Am I sounding okay now? Everything stopped on my phone. Everything. I couldn't even get back on Discord. I couldn't get on YouTube. I couldn't even get on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No fun.
But anyway, Shabbat Shalom to everybody.
You're sounding good now.
Better.
Thank y'all. I'm sorry I missed everybody's introduction. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Super excited. I enjoyed discussing this topic. I don't like what the topic is about, but I like letting people know what it really was about.
Awesome.
Hey,
all right.
Wasn't Johnny Cool going to help you on this topic also?
Yeah, we reached out to him. Shout out Johnny Cole. He's actually, still in that transition of moving and starting a new job. So I think just right now his life is kind of hectic. He did say that he was interested in, making some content with us, making some videos and having some conversations. But I think we're just kind of waiting for him to, get his stuff more buttoned up before he has the time to do so. But anyways, hopefully he can get on at some point. He sees the topic and he wants to jump on. I'd love to have him join the panel. And of course that invitation is open to anyone. So the link is in the description for the Discord. We can help you get set up if you're not familiar with Discord. If you're familiar, we'll get you set up so you can join us in around the table. So anyways, let's kind of get into it. So basically what we're going to be talking about is, all these situations, all these events that have been happening, for a handful of decades, within the American society. And we're going to talk about them now. I use the word shot because a lot of these are also shot on film. Now, of course, now it's digitally, but you kind of get the point. Is these images, these videos are shot on, are shot on cameras and film and digital formats, of course, and they are displayed not for just the population of the community, but for the entire nation and the entire world to see. So we're gonna step back a little bit in time and go to the past and talk about those, kind of leading up to our current situation, and then cap it off with the future and what that could hold. But of course, we're all coming from the point of being believers and having trust in the Father. So no matter what tribulation may come our way, we are willing to endure to the end, just like the Son did. So, anyways, that's kind of the general topic. Now, how far do we want to go back with, at least? Because we got to kind of include, like, I'm gonna jump all the way back to the Reichstag fire in World War II. Okay, and the reason why I'm taking this is because even though it was a fire bombing or whatever, there were armed men that that ran into this building, and not only caused fire damage and stuff like that, but people were hurt in the fire. But that whole setup of that man being there and his association not only with the local government, but with his different ties within the different communist like groups, and testimony from people in the area, literally talk about the fact that and I'm trying to pull some stuff up while I talk, but literally talk about the unlikeliness of the events and the very likely possibility that Hitlerio used this this event to to gain power within the country, within the nation. So I'm gonna pull up information while I talk. But I don't know if you know about that, but they straight up hung him. They straight up they straight up I believe they hung him. And give me just a second, guys. I'm trying to pull it up. If anyone has kind of anything to talk about the Reichstag that they know, I would appreciate the timing to give me a second to pull it up. Okay, I'm almost.
Well, I can that one exactly, but I do know that what went on the other day has been going on for years and years and years, probably all the way back to the time of Yeshua. However, World War II is a very good place to start when it comes to what we are experiencing in this country and world today, really. Vader Bear, I'm gonna let you get to the.
Yeah, so I pulled it up. I appreciate the time. So this guy, his name was Marnus. He was born in South Holland, 1909, in the Netherlands. He grew up, after World War I, during World War One, and he lost his mother when he was 12, and gave him a rough, kind of start. When he was older, he joined the Communist Party of the Netherlands in its youth wing, the Communist Youth Bund, and he worked in a lime factory, and he nearly went blind when a whole bunch of lime got in his eyes, and there was speculation that he was doing this as a means to get income but not have to work. But that's speculation. So then all these things happen. He eventually left and went to Germany, and then he would later to go on already there to gain a history of arson, attempted arson. So uh, after he was convicted and sentenced to death for that fire, which the newly sworn Chancellor of Germany, i.e., Hitlerio, was used as a as a pretext to start World War II. And however, there is archive evidence showing that event was planned and ordered by through the Nationalist Socialist Party.
Or is that the official story?
That is not the official story. The official story is that he was doing it like just as an arson, just as a it had nothing to do with. It was a political thing. Like he was fighting. He, as a good communist, was fighting. The socialists. So, but I think they.
What's the guy's name again?
It's.
Hitlerian? Would you call him Hitlerian?
No, I call them Hitlerio.
Is that his name?
No, that is the Chancellor of Germany, who was the National Socialist Party leader. I'm just not saying the trigger word, so I'm just calling him Hitlerio. But anyways,
all right, cool.
It's not stated that he was working with the National Socialist Party. It says he was working, with the Communist Party. So that was how it was ran, not that he was a part of in cahoots with the National Socialist Party. Anyways, so that's kind of, way back there, but I just want to show a precedence that, like, nothing's new. They've always used people, patsies, to do thing to then institute legislation. Meaning, just like in this situation, they got World War II. These attacks by the Polish, as it was stated, even though he wasn't Polish, stated it was used as a pretext to invade Poland, which of course started World War II. So
yeah, I just watched something on Axis TV about Jim Morrison's dad was the captain of the battleship that got attacked by Vietnam, which started the Vietnam War. Jim Morrison from The Doors?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, his dad was the captain of a battleship.
And then he went on to be CIA, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but they were saying that actually never happened.
No, it's actually declassified. The Gulf of Tonkin incident has been declassified, that they were not shooting, that no PT boat shot upon them. It's declassified. It's not even conspiracy theory now. It was conspiracy then, right? Until the information was released and it was declassified. So, yeah, it's 100% known.
Just like there was weapons of mass destruction in Iran when they killed Saddam Hussein.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We went to that war.
Oh yeah.
Just it's the same playbook over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's kind of a good segue, because what kind of instituted that was the Lord of the Rings, the two towers, where they both of the towers came tumbling down, and it was all pinned on these orcs from the east, the Middle East, the Middle Earth. And what my point was, and I know I'm kind of talking code, but what my point with that is, that whole situation is now, it's not just places like, you know, these two towers. It's places that are right down the road where um, you know, people go, for various things. One not being these events. Now, of course, with all of these, we can look at the evidence, we can look at the information, and at the end of the day, we can kind of make some headcanon. We can kind of have our own speculation of what or how it happened. But one thing is, we'll actually never know. We'll actually never know how these things happen. But there's some things we can be, that we can be sure of. But there's a lot of stuff we can't.
Vader Bear,
Yeah, go ahead,
I,
brother.
I got to disagree with you about that. You said that we will never know. One day, I feel like we're gonna know what these people went through. We're gonna know just what all took place.
I wonder about that. I wonder about how much of the sorrow that we had in this life we're gonna have to relive. I wonder about that. I won't make a hard stance on it either way, whether we're gonna see all those things or not, and all those type of truths are gonna be revealed to us, or if the real truth of the things that actually matter is gonna be revealed to us. But anyways,
Every person is going to be judged for everything they do, and we will all what they get, and will not be able to lie anymore. And that's a wonderful thing. I mean, there's things that I don't want to tell the public right now about myself. It may be either hurtful to me or embarrassing maybe or something like that, but one day everybody will know everything about me.
but yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna make a hard stance on whether that is or isn't gonna happen. But
Did you ever see that movie, Defending Your Life?
I
Where the guy had to defend all the mishaps and the bad choices he made. It was a comedy. Came out in the, I think, early 2000s or late 90s. Funny show. It's called Defending Your Life.
no, I don't recall it. But kind of getting back to the topic is at least in this life, we're not going to know how these things, took place. So we can have speculation, we can have some evidence, but we'll never really know. And that goes with all of these things. But so we're there. And so the reason why I kind of think that's important to bring up, though, shootings, quote unquote mass shootings happened before that event. I think that was really kind of a bigger trauma event to get people prepared for these mini trauma events. Now, I don't know about y'all, and let's refer to it as I think Austin got a good term for it, of Captain Hook. So during Captain Hook, there's a lot of evidence that I'm hearing echo from someone. Frankie, will you mute, please, brother? In Captain Hook, there's a lot of evidence that suggests that it was a camera shoot, an event, but not a actual shoot. And looking at these most recent ones, it's like I'm actually gonna pull this up real quick because I literally searched this. So and I want to state something real quick before so the whole Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, that trend is now over. Okay, and I said I wonder what the next trend is gonna be. But I said that kind of jokingly because during the middle of that trial is when you had these first recent recent things. Now we're not done talking about the past, but I just wanna point out that what we are being shown to what is actually going on are two different things, but that doesn't mean that people didn't die, and that doesn't mean that people were killed or
Right.
murdered.
I
Okay.
think I think you're right. But do y'all think that we caused this somehow by exposing their other lies, exposing the ones like Captain Captain Hook, uh, exposing that one to be a complete and utter fraud? Do you think that because we exposed them, that they would be like, okay, well, you're exposing us for our lies here. Let's see if you can expose what really happened. Okay, let's see if we don't go kill your children and see if you can prove that to be fake. Do you think that we caused this by keeping Torah? Do you think they're afraid of us? And that's why they're lashing out. That's why they're wanting to hurt us all the time. It's everywhere you look nowadays. You see police brutality. You see a war in Russia and Ukraine over what? And the government's killing their own people. I tie this exactly into what took place at Waco in
Well,
1992.
there's also a distraction from Hillary being on trial, legislation calling for Hunter Biden's
Brother,
uh,
the
back search. So these distractions are psyops that are planned in advance, like in the Waco killing, how 4 of Clinton's bodyguards were killed in the incident.
Clintons were involved with that. They were.
Of course they were. They assassinated 4 of their bodyguards.
Yeah, and I just want to take a step back and shout out to Austin Witsit Gets It. He did a great stream today. It was kind of funny how it lined up because we had already talked about doing a kind of a shot video because of of the situations, and we talked about talking about Waco and Ruby Ridge as well. But we're it wasn't as a big of a topic, but obviously now it is. So, we are kind of talking about Waco. I suggest those that didn't check out Austin's video that they go check it out. Watch it beginning to end. It's great. He gives a lot of information that you may have not known. And then if if you know something maybe he doesn't, then drop him a comment and let him know. But anyways, I learned some stuff about it that I didn't know, of how in depth information they had, and how they all lost it. You know what I mean? Like they said they didn't have video, they have video, and then boom, they do have video, but oh, now it's lost. So how like in any other situation, that would be tampering with evidence. That would be
camera beat the ATF there. The cameraman arrived before the ATF arrived in the horse trailers. He was recording the whole thing. It was viewed many times by the ATF and the FBI, and all of a sudden it disappeared. I guess they lent it to NASA since they lost all the footage of the moon landings, which is supposed to be the greatest achievement known to man. But we know that was a fake anyway. But yeah, it was the thing.
That's funny.
I happened to see some footage that never made mainstream media or nothing like that from Waco a long time ago. And what Frankie was talking about how the 4 ex-Clinton bodyguards were assassinated in that, they were the ones going through the window on the second story. I seen the video from that a long time ago, and I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, that was pretty intense.
Did you know?
That
Did you know that there was a recording of the Branch Davidians praying for the people at the ATF? It's actually still on YouTube, believe it or not. It's a interview with David Thibodeau in 1993 is when it took place. And at the very end of that video, there's they say a prayer for everybody who was killed there, including the ATF officers.
okay, yeah, yeah, I did see that that was years ago though. Where I seen where they all came together. Well, a lot of some survivors came together, and there's a lot of people, and we're talking about it. There was a segment in a long video, different clips.
And it's, I pointed this out, and so did Austin, so did Anthony, in Anthony's stream, that the Branch Davidians were to observe it. Now, of course, the different denominations of Christians that exist out there looked at the Branch Davidians and their practices and called them a cult, right? They labeled them cult. And what I think is really interesting about that is literally by labeling them a cult, it gave everyone an out in their mind morally to say what had happened to them was justified. Now,
To them, though, Vader Bear.
well, just to finish up, now it was stated that the whole incident happened because it was reported that they had automatic firearms there. And so they went to go get those firearms. So they brought tanks that shot flamethrower tanks. They brought automatic weapons. They brought gas. Gas that, if you'd like to point out, is not supposed to be used in war. And they, let alone in our Constitution, they are not allowed to use the military for people, for civilians. The army is to fight wars against, our so-called enemies. But they use that on us, and the people of the time, obviously, because none of the ABC alphabet organizations, no one got in trouble, no one got fired. Luckily for the Clintons, unfortunately for their families, the 4 people working that had previously worked for the Clintons died. And all the people, man, women, children were burned alive because they were a cult. So I think how strong the fact that that there wasn't an uproar in our society to fight against that just because they labeled a cult.
That's what I was trying to say is,
go ahead.
To them, we are a cult. Anybody who follows scripture and does what it says, to the ones that that worship their god Ra, I call him, to the ones that worship that god, to them, we are cults. We worship the Father, we worship Abba, and we worship Yeshua as his son and our mediator. But apparently that blows their mind and that scares them. So whether the Clintons were involved or not, from my perspective of the whole thing, it's regardless who was involved, it's the evil one versus Yahuwah and Israel. It's the government attacked Ruby Ridge by using military force. They attacked Waco by using military force, and then staged a bombing in Oklahoma City and blamed it on the Branch Davidians as basically a rebuttal to the Oklahoma City bombing. Several people were, Waco burning, but several people were killed at Oklahoma City. That
Yeah.
was done.
Question: did any documents get also destroyed during that bombing?
I didn't look into it enough to really say yes or no. I'm pretty sure there was, though. They don't do things just to do it. They're destroying evidence. And also,
real quick before your shout out, all the documents showing that Bill Clinton and his mafia family were linked to the drug trade heavily, and all that evidence was lost in the Oklahoma City bombing.
well, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there's spiritual implications to all their psyops too, not on a good side, but on the dark side. Like we know that in the towers, there was some black magic rituals going on when they fell, and it represents in the Lord of the Rings how when them towers came down, mystic powers came out from that. The destruction of those towers. Same thing in our reality. You know what I mean?
It's totally spiritual. I mean, sure, it's a physical aspect to it. It's a physical side. Like they truly did burn the church at Waco. They truly did knock the towers down. Okay, I think they truly did kill those children in Texas and at school. Now, whether they had a pawn to go in there and be the fall guy, paid him a bunch of money, or told him his family was going to be rich, I don't know. Maybe that's how they did it. But why were they attacking the families for going in there and wanting to help? If people are willing to put their life on the line for a child, let them. That's a natural thing to do. We are supposed to protect women and children and elderly. But no, the cops wanted to tase and pepper spray and tackle and arrest the people that were trying to help. Why were they trying to keep it? I don't get that, man. Why were they trying? And look, this is another thing. Here these cops are dressed all up in their bulletproof armor and their machine guns and all this stuff, and they're scared to go in there, when yet citizens, whether they had a child in there or not, whether they knew it or not, they were rushing the place. They wasn't fixing to let that happen, and they didn't have any weapons. They didn't have any armor. They had their willpower that they was fixing to go put a stop to this before it took place. But the cops wouldn't let them. What are they trying to hold back? They're scared to death. Sorry, go ahead.
And Austin referred to they were actually torturing them with lights, strobe lights, and they prolonged it for almost a month, right, Anthony?
Yeah, it was 52 days, I think, what it was. They were doing doing mind games, like MK Ultra stuff. And if anybody thinks that MK Ultra was actually dismissed back in the whatever it was, 70s, 80s, whatever,
they're sadly mistaken.
Exactly. They are. I'm telling you, if you turn on your television, you are being mind controlled. You are under MK Ultra experiments right that very second.
It's some Black Mirrors.
That's right. It's the black box.
No, literally that show though, Black Mirror, is a trip. It's like literally them flaunting what they want to do to us. It's pretty crazy.
They have been.
That's their method though, Frank, with them playing all the mind games and the squirrels dying and whatever it was that they said. That is deemed the Geneva Convention has outlawed that. Okay, we can't even. Our military cannot even use these tactics on another military force that is our enemy in war, but yet they get away with it in court when they use it in Waco. They just say, "Oh well, this is perfectly fine to do." Even the Geneva Convention has banned it, and not only the mind games, the CS gas. The CS gas is that's highly flammable and can turn to cyanide if mixed with the right conditions.
Yeah, if you breathe it in, it literally turns into acid in your lungs.
Well, that's also part of their spells, is to have
And-
it done in plain sight,
And check this out:
that people buy into it.
the order to put the CS gas into the compound. The reason they knew they had gas masks in there. Okay, the FBI, they knew that they had gas masks, but the reason they used gas anyway, because they targeted the children, because the children cannot wear gas masks. Their lungs are not strong enough to breathe in the gas mask. So they targeted the children.
I didn't know that about gas masks.
Well, that's another part of their ritual, is targeting the children.
Oh, absolutely.
And-
Absolutely.
What did they do? 19 children, 19 cops in the building. What they target children because children are the most defenseless.
Well, it's also something to do with their
Purity.
innocence. Their
Yeah,
innocence.
their purity, their innocence. Yeah.
Well, and
This last shooting, 18 children. Yeah, I mean, it's sad.
Yeah, and that's kind of a good segue because I know a lot of people out there, want to auto hoax things, and I even myself, auto hoax, but then I at least do the research and look into it and see, what it looks like, and here recently there has been a trend of these shootings. I'm gonna share on the screen real quick.
Hey, see if any of them took place while we had a Republican president. Because if my memory serves me right, it seems like every time this happens, we have a Democratic president who's against guns.
No, this is absolutely a trend that is typically only popular during democratic presidents. So what I'm showing on the screen, so it even says 3 hours, 5 hours ago, there was a shooting at a mega church. We have the Buffalo one at the grocery store being labeled domestic terrorism. We have the Mississippi Amazon shooting. So it's just over and over about these. Now, these, like I said, this is a trend, okay? So as we kind of saw in the previous trend, which captivated the world, was, again, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And during that trial, again, there was a shooting. And then coming out of the trial, we've had consecutive shootings. So people aren't watching that anymore. They need something else to watch. And so now all of these YouTube or television stations, channels, are talking all about this. And it's this is the trend. So, as using pattern recognition, like as we're, watching on the wall, we're looking for what's coming next. Now, we'll talk about the future here in a little while of like what we think, they may try to come from this. But what's important in all these situations is, again, in these situations, just to say no one died, it's all a hoax, it's all made up, that's, that, I agree with Austin, literally makes us look dumb. And I even included on the thumbnail, I'm going to just briefly show it on screen and then jump back to this.
Honestly, how I that is, any real truther would not get that mindset in the first place.
Yeah.
And I went through my little spell of it for about a week too, where everything I heard on the news, I was, oh, this is a conspiracy. But that's sort of a dumb move to make, because then you're basically just saying, "Oh
I don't
well."
think they do anything dumb.
Nothing
I
matters.
think it's planned. I don't know how or why they do what they do, but it's
Yeah,
and
I think
go
they
ahead.
kind of do that to desensitize us because, like,
Yes.
the more shootings there are, we're not surprised anymore. We're not shocked like we were
Well,
back.
and not only that, they come out and say, then we hear a lot of, oh, this didn't happen. It's we're not chemtrailing, but now we're chemtrailing. I mean, they just mix you all up, and
Exactly. That's the
it's
thing is the
that's
confusion
yeah,
and also to desensitize you to
that's
where
it.
you don't get
That's it.
shocked, where
Right.
Well,
your conscience gets numbed down
That's
to
what it
where,
is.
yeah,
there,
you
there
get
there's a
apathetic about the stuff,
there's a strong push on to get people up in arms, to get legislation to either ban our guns, put age limits on them, or put restrictions on gun owners.
Well, didn't they
Strong
pass something
push.
in
I mean, there's
Canada?
been in the last 2 months, there's been like 5 shootings.
Right. Canada, I think they're outlawing guns completely, didn't they?
Yeah, well, Canada is completely bought
Oh,
and
but
sold by
don't
China.
understand. That's coming our way.
Oh,
What they're
yeah.
doing there is just showing us
Also,
what's coming.
I
Australia gave up their
agree.
gun.
I agree, but I disagree. I like this is the thing, is it is so bred into the culture now that in every state, right, there is gun heritage about how their people, won that state because of that. So like we all grew up, like for instance, anyone growing up learned about the Oregon Trail, right? Like it was essential to
Yep.
to have that thing. And
Mhm.
so I think that it's so bred in that there's no way they're gonna actually be able to get our guns. Now you have certain states that will cow down, right?
Right.
But there's
Right.
no way you're gonna, like, because to have a type of conference in order to do
I will agree with you. I will agree with you. We won't have. We are all talking gun control, but I don't think it's.
I don't think it can happen. You
I don't
know,
think it can either.
I wasn't talking control. I'm wanting to show y'all how important it is spiritually, because they are attacking Torah observant people, the people at Waco, the people at Ruby Ridge. Okay, they're attacking us now, our children. They're attacking the citizens. They're attacking. And
This is
the
this
one
is how I see it. It's not just Torah observant. See,
the
when the one
yeah,
world government wants
really,
no religion,
it's really just Torah observant, because they don't fear the people that say Jesus is God and go and eat their Easter ham every Easter. They don't target the Sunday goers.
well,
They
that's
but
not
the thing is,
that's not
they
not.
want. Okay.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that's not actually true. There's tons of shootings at mega churches. There was
That's
just
right.
one
I'm
a few
I was
hours ago, but
Bear. I was trying to just stay on the Waco part. I hadn't gotten done with that. I was that, but yeah, I get it. There's catastrophe and there's massacres all over the world on all types of different circumstances and different things.
yeah, for sure. And what I'm kind of stating is some of these events are totally, like, for instance, this mass shooting, 3 dead, 2 college students. It says Iowa gunman kills ex-girlfriend, another woman, and then himself in the parking lot. That sounds like a lover crossed thing. That doesn't sound like a mass shooting, but they are now propping up these shootings. So of course there are crazy people out there, and this is the thing that I want to talk about. 2 things real quick. First thing that I don't understand is if you look into societies where guns are not allowed, right? Then all that happens is, like, for instance, in China, you have a crazy guy with a machete go into a mall and just
That's it.
chop up whoever they want. All they can do is
Yeah.
run away because they don't
Right.
have a machete. They didn't bring a sword. They don't
Right.
have a concealed carry. They don't have a open carry. So you're no less at risk from crazy people, and you can't ban an iron rod. You can't ban every instrument that could hurt someone. So
Well, it's also a push for fear for us gathering in large places, Christian, Torah, whatever, and it's also a push for domestic terrorists, because
Not
that's part of their agenda too. This whole patriot domestic terrorist angle they're coming at.
But see, that's what my point is. We are the terrorists to them, to the authority, to the government,
Mm.
the Illuminati, whatever you want to say.
Mm.
We are their threat. And the more that we keep the Torah, the more afraid of us they become. And that's when they start with their full force, which I think it's right on. It's on right now.
well, I'll just say this, okay? Like, I think that the Branch Davidians were Torah observant. I think that they were those who are to be, killed by the sword, i.e., the gun, the way that they were killed, like that violence. That's what happened to them. And those that went into captivity went into captivity. And
Yes.
and
That's a thing.
okay, you go ahead.
They did not have those guns for self-defense. They were buying and selling weapons to further make the church better, that area better. They bought go-karts and all that stuff for the children, to all kinds of stuff. They didn't have those weapons as a militant group.
Well, I have weapons to.
Totally. Yeah, like people can.
I have weapons for protection of what's going to happen. So, no, they had weapons for protection, just like we do. It doesn't have to be mass weapons.
Who did
or maybe terrorists.
why did the people on the Oregon Trail and all those that ventured west? Why did they all have guns?
Well,
To protect themselves.
Yeah, and it wasn't just from Indians. It was from wild animals. It was from
Exactly.
It was from other people, other bandits, other
Right.
So that's always existed.
that's why they had police officers back then, so they could protect them on that Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
I'm saying, bro. Now, I want to say one more thing. It's a little bit of a story, and then I'll be kind of done. But I wanted to tell you, something that was said that happened that didn't happen, and it happened 2 hours away from my house. I was listening to it on the radio. I was listening to the radio, listening to a song, and the breaking news broke in, right? Happening now in Jackson, Mississippi, such and such school. I can't remember the name. Active school shooting. There's supposed to be 3 gunmen inside. I mean, I can just about play out the story I was hearing. My ears were glued to the radio. Okay, now this is maybe 6 months after Captain Hook. Okay, this is when this took place. But anyway, I'm listening to this news channel, and it's happening 2 hours away from me. I'm thinking about, I was already on the interstate. I was thinking about going on up there. Okay, I was headed there. I didn't care about, I was in a log truck. Okay, I'm fixing to drive to Jackson, and I'm fixing to go put a stop to it myself. And I wasn't armed. You can't have a weapon in an 18-wheeler. So anyway, I listen. News channel, this news is breaking for about 10 minutes, and they said there was gunfire. There was supposedly several children dead. Anyway, it just mid-sentence just cut back, and there was an advertisement on the radio. It wasn't a song anymore. It cut back into the radio station. And I'm thinking, what's going on? So I actually called the state police and asked about what was going on up there. They had no idea what I was talking about. I think they thought I was crazy, but for no joke, I was listening to this live happening, and they named a school, but I can't remember what it was. But about the next year and a half or so, I knew people that lived up there, and I asked them, and I would meet other people that lived up there, and I would ask them if they had knew anything about it. Nobody knew anything about this.
Well, wait a minute. Some other people other than you heard it on the radio. Something had to be,
And
So I don't understand.
I actually did talk with the loader operator that was on the job site that I was headed to anyway. He actually did hear it too.
Well,
Called Monroe. If he's listening, shout out to Monroe, one of the best loader operators I've seen. Salute to you, brother. But anyway, he heard it on the radio that day too, but he didn't catch the whole thing. And he said he was only halfway paying attention. He said he did hear breaking news come on the radio station. He and I listened to the same radio station anyway.
So the moral of the story is it happened, but it didn't. And
it was happening like it was taking place right then, but nothing ever happened. It was a 10-minute broadcast on a FM radio station, but nothing ever took place. I'm just saying, sometimes they are real, sometimes they're not.
Well, and that kind of good segue into what I wanted to talk about, where some of these things are drills that they record, that they say, okay, we can use this footage to say this thing. They had it set up in time where they could do that, and we have some events that happen. So I have some images kind of that I want to share of the and these are ones that Anthony showed, but that he showed. So this is of the recent Texas one. Okay, the Robb Elementary. Look at this kid right here. I hope y'all can see my mouse. Right here, this kid is grinning and smiling. How could a whole bunch of children just have been killed and you're walking away chipper and happy and smiling? Kinda weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, and yet they're okay. This is what happened at my grandson's school. 2 weeks ago?
Where were you showing that at, Vader?
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, but I'll also share it with y'all. Give me just a second to do so.
Didn't come. I'm watching YouTube. It didn't come up yet.
Okay, I'm sharing it on.
Yeah, it comes in slow.
On Discord as well, if y'all want to see.
Okay.
It.
2 weeks ago, I can tell you almost why some are smiling. Is they're so desensitized, but there was a gun at my grandson's school, and I'm 5 minutes away from the school, so he called me and said they're letting us all come out if and they had to get everything under control, and then so I drove to go pick him up, and anyway it didn't bother him. The kid was found with a gun in his desk or something, so I don't know. They're taking it. So I said, well, you were scared or anything else? No. And I don't know. I just think they're desensitized. But that was just 2 weeks ago. So
I have a quick question for you before you go too far, Vader Bear, through the pictures and all. Have you ever been in a situation where bullets were flying and you could be hit by them, like in a real serious situation like that?
Nope. How about you, Vader?
I have, and I promise you, you ain't smiling about it.
Well, they're walking in a line. They're being, the kids are walking to the bus in a line on that. So the smile is kind of like everything's under control. To me, it was, I don't know. You know.
You honestly, literally, you think that if you were at a school where all these people just got killed.
How many kids got killed? I don't know what I'm looking at. I guess I shouldn't speak.
19.
Is that
children.
the Texas shooting?
Yes, this is the shooting that just
Okay.
happened.
Personally, I think this.
Oh,
photograph-
actually, it says Los Angeles. That's weird. Because, no, look, this is why it's weird. Is because if you look at what this is titled, it says Texas Rob shooting video chaos I said moments after deadly rampage. So
But
if I click this, it goes to Texas Rob thing, but it literally says Los Angeles County on his badge.
Oh, no way.
Oh.
Do y'all see
Weird.
that?
Oh, yeah. And where's on his badge? Where did Los Angeles County. Oh, my
Right
gosh.
here. Yeah, look,
I did-
guys. Guys, look at that. It says Los Angeles County Sheriff.
Oh, brother.
I was just about to say, man, I'm wondering if this is these cops or militants ushering children out of the school for the event, like before it even happened.
But
That's-
obviously not. This is Los Angeles County. There's no way this is in Texas.
Look at that. So they're not. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
And
That's
why do
why
you
some.
military 12 gauge shotgun and bulletproof vest and breeches looks like with a bunch of children with backpacks?
Well, yeah, but this was supposed to be a shooting, and now they are very protected. But what is killing me is that it says Los Angeles County on the back.
The children at gunpoint? Come
No,
on.
they're not at gunpoint.
They should have one of the teachers say,
Oh.
"Hurry along, children. Don't worry about these bad guys with weapons over there."
What?
You know, that's what they should have done, man. That you don't.
Yo, you see that kid with the socks? That's definitely L.A. The kid in Texas is wearing that sock.
This is
No, but it's obviously not. Look at the thing, and it's kind of interesting. He's standing right in the way where you can't see the bus. You can't see what bus it's in.
Oh, I see what you're saying. What it says on the bus.
Yeah. So.
Well, you caught the badge.
Yeah, that's insane, and it literally is titled that on this. Now, this is nothing but, this is obviously a news outlet that is claiming it has video footage. So, yeah, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they put stuff out like this incorrectly for us to look and say, hey, look, this isn't even the right thing. And they're like, well, of course. We didn't claim it was, even though it is, and they're like, or they could just be like, oh, that outlet, they're crazy, even though it's ran and paid for by an alphabet company. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah, they don't care. They used a Nashville guns convention to use it for war scenes over in Afghanistan when it was a display of weapons in Nashville. I think it was Nashville or Texas.
It wasn't war, put it that way.
Remember that?
No, I got to tell y'all this. Y'all check this out, all right? This is what they've done. What they've done is they have faked all of the events all this time. And this whole time, we've been calling them out on it. We've been putting it in everybody's face, the whole world, on YouTube, Facebook, Discord, you name it. We've been putting it out there everywhere, telling people, please wake up, see this. And what happened? We became crazy to the general public, right? Now, check this out, bro. Now they can go do it for real, and nobody's gonna believe us because now we're crazy when we show it.
Vader,
Show
blow
that
up that pitster with the 3 cops. See if we can see any identification on there. The pitster that's on the screen with the 3 cops. Yeah, blow that one up. See if we can see any logos on it.
But seriously, y'all, that's what it is.
Maybe.
They put enough truth out there to where people like us is going to pick up on it instantly and run with it and tell everybody we know because we love them. And then they're going to use that for us.
You see that patrol car.
They'll just mix it up all the time. Some die, some don't. They use the same death pictures. It's I don't know, whoever.
Mark, did you hear anything I just said?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about that picture with the woman in green? Scroll back up.
They are literally playing
There's cops.
others against us.
Oh,
and
can you?
Believe in them.
I can't tell from that shot.
There's a woman wearing a green outfit, a police woman. I think it's right below the 3 cops. Keep scrolling down.
Yo, we've got to outthink and art these people, bro. And they've definitely got the upper hand on us with their money, I should say, their currency. They've definitely got the upper hand on us. But we've got to outplay these people. It's on us now. It's literal all-out war. Do y'all not see it?
So, it's always been, man. It's like,
oh no, it just started.
No, in Caesar's time, dude, they were doing these things. In Nero's time, he was doing these things. Alexander the Great. Constantine.
There's nothing new under the sun.
That's right.
Playbook.
Okay, I wanna bring y'all's mind back to what happened at Waco, Texas. How they burned men, women, and children, pregnant women.
You think that's never happened in the history of man before?
Check this out. Right. All right, y'all keep that in your mind. Now,
all right.
Do you know what a sample is? It's like when you go to the TCBY and they let you taste the frozen yogurt. That's a sample. That's what Waco was, from what they are geared up to do right now, and I think they've started their play. I think Waco was a preview.
Yeah, I think again,
it's all fear porn. That's all it is.
Well, no, again, some of these events do really happen. People really do die, and they do target specific people. I'm not taking any of that out. They also use those opportunity to get rid of people that are no longer in their good fortune, and
well, they're also trying
to get rid of technology.
Tell what is a psyop. Well, we can't tell what is a psyop between a real shooting, because there is some real nuts out there that will take a gun and go and do some real shooting. But there's so many of them now, we can't tell the difference of, well, we can, but the general population can't tell what's real and what's fake. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't even question the validity of the situations, first of all. So they're spoon-fed whatever comes from, the media. So, but what I would say is, within the truth community, it's really easy to just say they're all hoaxes, but it's also really easy to say that none are hoaxes, right? And so I think you need to take a measured approach to all of these events. And if you decide to speak on them, then you should be well versed in what you're speaking about, right?
Right.
So that being said, I think that looking at the evidence of the recent one, it was a real event, but it was an operation. It is Operation Trend Gun Control, and they're trying to bring that back on the table. And
Right.
now obviously, this may be even a long play to get a certain would be presidential campaign looking a lot nicer in a lot of people's eyes
Yeah, it could be
because of
something like that.
the prospect. So I'm not,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of these, they're for the evil one and those that follow his ways. Some of these events are, like for them, like, because they're just natural anger, lust, whatever it is, people, bad people take this tool and they go and hurt people with it. And they love jumping on those and, propping those up in the media and spreading it around. But they also know, and I think that this can be proven within their own scientific community, that when an event happens and then it is highly publicized, or in our modern vernacular, when it goes viral, that the chances of someone else going and committing a similar crime or an attack is exponentially higher. So it makes complete valid sense that if they can't fake it till they make it on these events to trigger that kind of progression of these events, then they kind of have to, they kind of take it into their own hands. And we've seen this for many events that, like, okay, people definitely got hurt. People definitely died, like that seems like the evidence seems like that's there, but the manner in which they in the person that said did this crime is, there's a lot of speculation can be made there. But anyways, what my point is that because of that, I think that they sometimes, and kind of like Anthony was saying, where we can call them out on their hoaxes, because there is kind of at least the government does have a set of check and balances where, like you can check birth certificates, you can check birth rate and death rate and years and stuff like that. Like that type of information is known. And people have the time and capability, definitely with the internet and modern computers, to look up that information and spread that information and share that information. So they are, I believe what this was at the elementary was an operation where they set it up to have this person go in there. They obviously set it up to have Patsy. We can talk about the previous Patsies. They used in Waco, they used the ATF agencies as Patsies, because not only did they needed to go away, but they used them in the sense that that was their right to then use physical force, even though they had already used physical force. And then in this situation, it's a guy that, and people talk like, and even in these, is it a guy fully knowing, or is this a MK Ultra victim? Someone who's had their personality split. Like they've shown us it in movies. they've shown us in conspiracy. They showed it in the Mariachi Candidate, in the books, in the TV shows. They've shown it to us over and over. So the likelihood of that being a thing, that could totally be an aspect, or it could just be a fool. They use the fool, they get rid of the fool, and they get to do what they want to do. They're obviously have the gear to look like whoever they need to look like, so they can get in and out without being suspect. So if that's the way it goes, and so we've seen throughout the years a mixture of all of this. And so yeah, to the average civilian out there, um, they're
I,
they're just interested in the trend, the trend, not the details. So anyways, what were you gonna say,
I
Marcia?
got a question. I got a question. We talked about how they try to, you just get numb to this stuff. I'm numb to it. I look at this stuff and don't know whether it's real or not, and know it's a game. I'm numb to it. You know, just like it's like more garbage that they're pulling on us.
Well, that's what
Eh,
like us are here to do, Miss Marsha. We look into this very closely, just like Vader Bear found
well,
the California badge dude. I mean, he noticed that when I didn't. You know, there's things that I
yeah,
notice sometimes that Vader Bear doesn't, but that's how we all work together, and we
I
can
understand.
expose
I understand. It's
very.
just that it's really hard to wake. I don't know. It's not that I can wake people up with, but I do see it, and I see right through it. I'm
Totally.
seeing more and more of their games.
Yeah, totally. And and the only reason why, I think we should talk about it is because when these trends happen, we're watchers on the wall, right? And
Right,
some of us watch different areas of the wall, right? So we have
right.
different topics, and I think this is an important topic to go on because kind of how like we had a special episode about Ukraine and Russia, how a lot of people, even in the truth community, definitely, we saw that during the beer bug time too, that were saying this is it, like this is the final push,
Right,
and
right.
and I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm saying let's look at the facts, let's look at what's going on, and
Right.
again,
No, it's not the final push.
No,
It's not the final push. This is them poking little
poking the
stab.
bear.
That no, yeah, exactly. They're catching the cat by the tail. They're pulling the cat by the tail. Whatever. Uh, that's them saying, okay, well, y'all so high and mighty, kind of. I'm coming from their perspective, is the way I'm seeing it. Okay, if we're so high and mighty, then why don't we stop them with the Torah? Why doesn't our Yahuwah stop them? So they're gonna keep on poking little stabs. This ain't the all out Armageddon war, no. But it's gonna continue, and it's gonna get more and more real.
Well, it's going to be where we haven't even known persecution yet. What's coming?
We're fixing to see it.
Yeah, but not quite yet.
We
Well, it ain't.
already they just killed 19 children in a school,
And they're all Torah people.
and
I
in
mean,
all places who supposedly have the best gun rights in all the world, and all of a sudden something like this happens in Texas, and then we see the cops tackling the citizens that are trying to go in there and help.
I kind of want to stop you real quick. One of the reasons why I moved out of Texas is because in certain pockets in certain areas within Texas, they're actually very liberal. Dallas, Austin, Houston, those are all major, huge. Austin for sure, Houston for sure, but are all huge places, and there is a lot of people from out of state, specifically a lot of people from California that
I
move there and move into these small towns and buy up these houses for ridiculous prices, right? Because they're coming from California. and kind of taking over a city. So I would actually, I haven't looked this far into it, but an interesting topic maybe for one of us or one of y'all out there to look into would be what kind of government, what kind of representation they have there, and if there's been any recent changes to that. Definitely within this, administration. Just some thoughts, ideas to look into.
Yeah,
Other
there
idea
is.
to folks is if anybody listens to anything we say, uh, families, please homeschool your children if at all possible. Um, you don't need as much as you think you need. I can promise you that. But if you can at all possible, get your children out of these schools altogether.
Yeah,
They are
and you should that this should be the last reason you should be taking your children out of public school.
Yeah, that's
So
that's not because of shootings. Absolutely.
yeah,
oh,
It's the,
100%. Yeah, that is the point I'm trying to make. It ain't because of the shooting, whether it's real or not, whether who did it or not. I'm talking about their education. It's their
of
life.
course.
It's their
You
future.
know, it always happens in these small little towns with like zero crime rate. I mean, before this, there hadn't been a shooting in that town in years. You know what I mean? That was
Yeah.
one of the things brought up.
Oh, now that's interesting.
and that's
Frankie.
a whole
That's
nother
interesting.
and that's a whole nother aspect, right? Like it could be in these towns where they kind of grew up, or it could be, oh, that's a town that is a like a wholesome, good place, good values.
To move to.
Let's go
to
and
move to.
well,
See, now they're making these places that are small little. That's a good thought.
Because you would expect it to happen like in the inner
In a
city,
bigger
the
city,
urban,
right.
like, in like North Philly or
Right,
West
right.
Philly or
Now they're showing it in the small towns, so you got to be scared of them too.
Hey,
So,
would
yeah.
yeah, it's all about the fear.
right quick, I got a little fun fact for everybody. Little homework, if you may. Uh, how would you like to know for several years running, like consecutive years, this one town in America was deemed the safest place to live in the world? It was called Kennesaw, Georgia, and
You just did my homework for me.
well, check behind me, because don't believe a word. Okay, please don't believe nothing I say. Search and seek these things be true. Test all things, hold fast to that which is good.
Okay, what about that town?
Word be true, and every man a liar. Now, anyway, this little town in Kennesaw, Georgia, was known for the safest place in the world, and it was the only place that I'm aware of. Now, this may be a little far-fetched here, but it was the only town in the world that required you to own a firearm to live in it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Wait a minute. Is that? I heard. Maybe it's not a firearm. Never mind. I'm talking through my.
Well, Kennesaw, Georgia, for several consecutive years, was the safest place in the world because every citizen had to own a firearm. Check it out.
I don't think because of the Second Amendment they can legally require you to own a firearm. But I'd like to check that out. But I wanted to kind of switch gears real quick and kind of talk.
No, it's not. It's a town.
Before you do that,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
speaking about owning firearms, get back to that shooting in Texas. The 18-year-old kid, I think he's 18. It was more than $5,000 worth of new stuff that he went in there with. You had like 1,000 rounds. You had 2 new rifles and a pistol and some body armor. Yeah, the price tag on some of that stuff, the state-of-the-art guns, yeah, we're looking at well over $5,000. Where does an 18-year-old kid just shell out $5,000 with no credit?
Yeah, working at Wendy's, and he
yeah.
was driving a brand new F-150 too,
Right.
which was probably around 60 grand.
It was
So
L.
there's a lot of red flags with that.
Yeah.
I think it
You know,
was
you got to follow the money.
Frank. I think it
Yep.
was F-250. Those things are like 80 grand, bro. But still, his grandma was paying his phone bill supposedly, like on the line with him
Yeah.
when he supposedly shot her. Man, I don't know, bro. It's a lot of it is really sketchy to me. But I am not jumping to conclusions and where let's put it this way. I hope and I pray that it was another one of them fake jobs.
Yeah, unfortunately, the suggestion.
I hate to say this, it's just another sacrifice to Moloch.
I agree with you 100%, brother. Funny thing is, certain person in my life just recently asked me what my thoughts were about Moloch.
Okay.
You
Go
might.
ahead. What are your thoughts?
I'm not gonna say something else because I'll accuse them, and I'm not gonna do that right this minute.
We're only 9 away, guys. So went up a couple. So shout out to all the recent subscribers. It really does help. Hit that halfway mark to the 1,000, but our first milestone. So appreciate y'all. Shout out. But
That like button too.
yeah, definitely, and leave a comment. Remember, you got to leave a comment too, so that you can win. Be entered to win that shofar. So. And it's going to be a nice shofar, so you'll definitely treasure it because it'll be pretty nice. So, anyways, so the other topic that I kind of wanted to bring up is kind of some hypocrisy that we see on the other side. So, the first part is the side that is pushing to take away gun rights is also, for the sake of the children, that get murdered defenselessly, because we can't, even though all of these politicians and people in power, their children are guarded by guns and heavy security. Our the public children, that they don't get that. But we can armor up our police forces with armored vehicles that they obviously really needed during this recent event in Texas, because that helped them accomplish whatever they did. But the point being is that this same party is also for abortion. So they're okay with women, their own mothers, choosing to kill their defenseless child within the
Boy,
womb.
isn't that ironic?
But they
You know?
but they have a problem with children in school being killed. Now, obviously, no real human being, no person that has any type of soul or spirit or empathy or anything can look at the death of a child and be anything more than sympathetic, not only for the loss of the child, but for the parents and the family of those people. And that goes on to anyone that's lost in a shooting, right? Like, even the shooter, if it's a real event, it's, let's say, like this shooting where he killed two people and then himself. That type of thing is so much different it's similar, right? It's still a horrible thing, like that guy that killed himself, he has a family that's gonna miss him. He's gonna have people that miss him and wonder why he did what he did. So like, we all understand that fact of people who lose their life. That definitely, when it's taken away from them, that is something that's sad and something we should, have humility for. But the fact that they have these hypocrisies where they're willing to allow some defenseless children to be murdered, where the others they have issue, it's insane. They care about overpopulation, but then they're so worried about the fact that guns, like, they're like, one of their arguments is like, well, the guns are made to kill people, so you can kill a lot of people with them really easily, right?
But our military,
So
they should just
so why is that an issue to people who to think overpopulation? Yeah.
Yeah.
And furthermore, if there's no God, if we're in, living in Darwin's world and his theology, then what's wrong with murder or rape? If we're just a part of the natural order, if we're tied into the the Genesis species, the animal kingdom, if we're tied into that, well, male lions will go into a pride, beat the male, go in there, kill all the male cubs of that lion he defeated, and then mate with all the women and make his own cubs.
1776.
So what my point is they're always wanting to talk about nature, but they're not willing to take the grotesque parts of nature. They want to add in morality when they have no basis for morality, because we're literally just rock scum that eventually turned into single cell, that eventually turned into a human being per their image. So it literally, they're so backward, it makes zero sense.
Yeah.
You didn't hear 1776, did you?
I did hear you, but if you want to kind of expound on that, I'd love to hear it.
I do just a short piece. 1776 is when the Europeans officially took over the lost tribe of Judah that found their way into the Americas, that we now call the Native Americans or Indians. That was the official takeover from a foreign nation into Israel. And it was because the Native Americans stopped following the Torah. It allowed that enemy in.
So, kind of off topic as well, is the Bulgarian Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt, he started it. That group, the Bulgarian Illuminati, in 1776.
Imagine that.
So yeah. Anyways, kind of back to what I was saying, is there's just the hypocrisy there, guys. Like, isn't it ridiculous? Like, they stand on this the morality of it, but then when morality comes up in other subjects, it's like a ghost. They just see right through it. It's an apparition. There's nothing there.
You're right. Yeah, you got it. You hit the nail on the head. Yep.
But the people who do these things, like, from what I see in the research that I do, 9 out of 10 times they are not coming from, and even though it's a false dichotomy, Democratic Republican, Democrat Republican. You don't really see these events coming from people who profess uh, these ideas, right? Like they like to spin it that they're straight white male Christians that are doing this, but it always comes to light that that's not the truth of the matter. So yeah, it's literally insane. It blows my mind. Yeah, I'm sorry. It is Bavarian. I did say I didn't say Bulgarian. I think I said Bulgarian, but it is Bavarian. I don't know why I added the L's, but I appreciate that. Speak
Oh,
truth.
it's kind of like lotus and locust.
Yeah, I know, man. It's just some words they just for some reason. But anyway, so I don't know. I guess we kind of covered a lot about the past and the future. Where do y'all think? Like, okay, I kind of want to go through the panel. Do y'all think that they will be able? And we'll start with Anthony and then go all the way down. Anthony, do you think that they will be able to get any legislation for gun control? And if so, how much? What are your thoughts, Anthony?
My thoughts on it, man, is they're gonna get as much as we allow them to have.
So specifically, but specifically through these like recent events in this chain of things, do you think with the current administration that they're going to be able to pull anything off, or like it's kind of like yes because of this or no because of this?
I would have to go like 50-50 at this point. Uh, However, in my opinion, if if people would open their eyes and see these truths, then no, they would definitely back down from taking our firearms, taking our armor, taking our land, taking all the stuff from. They would back down a little bit, but they're going to keep pushing until they see some sort of resistance. And what I'm basically getting at is, they if they come knocking on your door or something, that's your home, that's your dwelling. You do not have to let them in, but just they're going to take anything you give them. They're like a rabid dog starving to death that has showed up on your doorstep. If you don't feed it, it'll go away. But if you feed it, it's going to be there knocking on your door every single time they get hungry. So don't give in. And so that's kind of where I stand at, is on 50-50 right now about all of that.
I read a post today.
Well, wait, Daryl. Sorry, wait, Frankie. I wanna go through this, and then you can kind of say your piece. Daryl, do you think that they'll get any legislation through this with the current administration, or do you think this is just gonna be, one piece of the trend that maybe eventually will lead to that? Oh, it looks like there he is. Can you hear me, Daryl? All right, looks like he may be having issues, so I'm going to skip you and we'll come back to you. Just kind of let us know when you get back, so we can. But I guess it is your turn, Frankie B.
What was the question again?
So the question is, do you think with the current administration that we're going to get any type of that they're going to get any type of legislation through?
I got my mic back on now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, you go, Daryl Lee, and then you think about it, Frankie.
Okay, yeah, I think it's going to go back and forth in legislation because they're raking in the dollars. they're getting so many people funding, throwing money at them here and there, and you know the the gun lobbies. You know, I mean, there's just so much money. They wouldn't want it to end. You know, if they banned all the guns and got them rid of them all, they wouldn't be making money on them no more. I think that's just one little piece of the whole picture, but I think that is a legitimate piece of it.
True, they
Awesome.
they said gun sales are through the roof right now.
And I was gonna bring up real quick that during Obama, like, you know, they called him because everyone thought he was gonna do something, so everyone went out and bought a gun. And definitely when these school shooting happened, everyone runs out and buy guns because they think, you know, is the government gonna try something? So, you know, that is there. Okay. So Darrell came back. So back to Frankie. What are your thoughts, Frankie?
Well, I did read a post today that Johnny Depp is the first man to ever win an argument with a woman. Just to change the mood a little bit. No, but I don't think anything's going to be done.
I take offense to that.
It's all smoke and mirrors. They might get an age restriction. I doubt it, though. Because now the whole other argument is you can be 18 and volunteer for the military, but you can't be 18 and buy an assault weapon. So it's just a distraction. It's another argument. It's basically a distraction to take away from the suffering economy. Now they're not talking about gas prices. They're not talking about how bad the economy is. Now everything's focused on gun lobbies, gun control. They just keep changing the topic away from the real issues. That, you know, we're not producing our own fuel. We're not regulating the economy. We're not even worried about the economy. And now there's no talk about the border. It's just now everything's talking about guns. It's a hot topic, and it's a very easy topic to distract people from.
And they're not. And just to add to you real quick, they're not talking about the Hillary's on trial. That
yes.
They're not talking about, as my wife pulled up to, all the food processing plants that are continuously mysteriously blowing up. They have all these sensational things, even though you would think that all you know, consecutive food processing plants all over the United States, like, that seems like a military action, doesn't it?
Shut down the major producer of baby formula, and now that's something that they talk about like for 2 minutes, but the whole newscast is about gun violence.
Yeah, it's insane. All right. Well, let's appreciate that. Let's go to Marcia. What are your thoughts?
That it's going to pass through legislation? No. I don't think it's going to happen. And I think everything is, I mean, they're just throwing everything at you at the kitchen sink. And right now it's the gun thing. But do I think it's going to actually pass through legislation? No. That's my flat out answer. No, I don't think it's going to happen. Is it coming? Possibly. But I think everything is to get us distracted for, I don't think we're going to have the answer. I think we're going to have to wait and see what their thing is going to be. They are tricky. Satan is sly.
Well,
and we think we got our finger. We think we got our finger on it, but we don't. So, but we are watchers, and we can start looking at trends. But no, I don't think it's going to go through legislation. Not anytime soon. No.
Awesome.
Heard the kitchen sink is on its way.
So,
you may call
go ahead.
Conspiracy theorist or something, but yeah, I think that it's going to go back and forth. But to me, it seems like they're trying to take down America, you know, to usher in the New World Order.
But,
they can't have the constitutional people that stand up for having rights like that.
But don't you think, since even though, like, we can all tell that, like, America, its foundations are graveled, but don't, like, we can all tell that, like, it has also been a blessing for believers, right? Like, it's given us a place where we all can come together, right? Like the life that we're living right now. Like, we all live various lives, but we can all come together and talk about, these important topics to each other and to the, to the those that are watching, and
Yeah,
then
I think that's yeah, I think
yeah.
that's one of the reasons why they want to take down America is, too much freedom of speech, freedom to have guns, and
But don't you
Well,
think
when
they've
we fall, I think
always
the world
had,
falls.
like, don't you think, like, England and, other nations have always trying to, kind of put us under their wing instead of letting us be free? So, even our own nation does that. Of course, other nations are going to try to do that. But but yeah, so kind of my idea about, gun control in general is just specifically with our nation, it is so entrenched in American culture that I can't see all the people who grew up shooting and hunting and, being responsible, witnessing their parents be responsible gun owners and go on to be responsible gun owners, and they never shoot a person in their entire life, but they own and buy guns their entire life. They shoot lots of ammo, they buy lots of ammo, but they never hurt anybody. The amount of those people compared to the people, that if all these events actually happened and all the people that actually died, if you put those statistically together, they would make a minute percentage of that type of violence. And obviously, there's research out there to suggest that it's actually the opposite. The more guns that people have, the less crime there is, the less gun deaths there are. And we kind of can see this within California and New York, where they have limited gun, the limited gun rights. There is more gun violence to the general public. So with that being said, I don't think they'll ever be able to get it. Not legislatively or in during our current system. And of course I kind of go there, but I think again with Revelation 9, with that event and kind of how Reagan said, like, I imagine how quickly our differences would be put aside if we all of a sudden were greeted by an alien threat, so I think that is kind of Revelation 9 happening. And I think during something after that, when you've had this catastrophe, uh, that is a time where they could actually reorganize, especially America, um, into a whole new type of government. I don't know. To me, all of the other thing in Scripture, that we see as as things to come, as prophecy. I don't think that they are like you know um, civilization changing events. I think that they are events that definitely hurt people and things happen. But I think that first woe, again, Revelation 9, is going to be that event, that we may see in our lifetimes, or our children may see in their lifetimes, or who knows. Like, every generation's believed that. But, anyways, I don't think they will, at least in the United States, be able to ever do anything like that, because even in our world wars before, they didn't all of a sudden say, no one can own guns in America, right? So I don't think that they could use that route. I don't think these shootings, um, you know, although people are sad about them, because of course they should be, when people die, but but for most people, they're not going to outweigh their right to knowing
Own
themselves
a
and
gun.
knowing they're never going to hurt someone unless they absolutely have to. They're not going to say, okay, I'm going to give up that because other crazy people hurt other people with guns.
The shooting isn't something that's going to be okay. Now, no guns. It's just not going to be.
Yeah,
It's just
I
another-
have seen some people kind of speculating because of the administration that it's like they're setting up as this is going to be the monopoly or the the for
a final straw.
yeah for
No.
it, but I disagree.
No.
Anyways, all right, well, sweet. We are coming up we got 6 minutes almost exactly left. So we got, I kind of want to go through a real quick thing with you real quick, Anthony, specifically about some of the images you showed me and that point that we didn't get to talk about with those images. So I'm going to pull this up for y'all real quick. And screen. Boom. Okay, perfect. So, Anthony, on the screen is, the picture you sent me where it has the cop with the taser in his hand, and it has the red circle, and then you see the guy that's been tackled down in between the vehicle, and then another, two people, like a woman helping another woman up. And then in the second picture, you see a little bit more inclined. You see those cops again on top of that guy in between the vehicle. You see the woman in red kind of pushing back on, looks like both of these officers. I'm assuming maybe they have some relation, or just maybe she's saying what's wrong. And then there's this video too. I don't know what you wanted to show with that, but you wanted to kind of talk about that. Do that if you'd like.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, you sound great.
All right. Cool. I think I lost my connection there for a minute. I had to jump out and jump back in. But yeah, as quickly as I can. Yeah, I did. They got the taser circled around the cop that's got the taser in his hand. They got the red circle around it, right? I'm not seeing the picture, so I'm sort of trying to recollect. Am I being right?
Yeah, exactly. So you were saying they were using those tasers.
In order for them to draw it, that's an act of deadly force. Just a taser now, whether it be pepper spray, whether it be a taser, whether it be a gun or baton, anything that's use of deadly force. Any weapon that they have.
Yeah, and they actually call it less lethal.
Yeah, it is considered less lethal.
But it literally has lethal in it, so it's still lethal. It's just quote unquote less lethal.
Well, there's been thousands of people in America alone be killed because of the tasers. I mean, it is a lethal weapon.
Totally, absolutely.
It's just less lethal than a gun. Which on the same point, no, I'm not going to bring that up for a later date. It's a very good one though. But
were we talking about not being able to read what was on the bus? It says
that's
that's the city. It's Uvlad SISD, which is, I believe, County Independent School District.
Oh, okay. That's not LA, it's Texas, right?
Yeah, that's correct. But the picture on that other one definitely wasn't. That was pretty weird. Unless that is Los Angeles County. So maybe that city is in Los Angeles, which is would be kind of even weirder that it happened in Los Angeles County. But
hey brother, I don't want to say too much about the subject right now, but I kind of want to get into my goodbyes. I'm not trying to make it official or nothing, but one thing I know we don't have a lot of time left, but one thing I really want to get across is, I know we talked about a lot of touchy subjects tonight. If these events actually did happen, on behalf of Enclosed Cosmology Fellowship, our condolences. We want to, we feel your pain, and we want to send you many blessings, and hopefully a speedy recovery, and many blessings to the families. I don't want to portray as though we're calling it a fake event. I'm not wanting to portray that we're saying that it was actually done maliciously. The fact of the matter is we're concerned, and this is why we talk about these things. It's so that the truth can be known.
I totally agree.
Sweet. All right. Well, that's a good segue, and I guess everyone's saying goodbye because we do only have a few minutes left. So let's go ahead and close it out. So, Daryl Lee, if you'd like to say your goodbye, sir.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's an important topic, and it's good that we all rationally was able just to talk about it, to get to the truth. Um, I think I think it was probably real, but I think it was probably, I don't know how the words to use, like staged red flags, and
Operation. Yeah, it was an
op-
operation.
yeah, operation to be a better word for it. Thank you. Um, but yeah, I'm with Anthony on that. My heart goes out. Um, but and I'm trying not to let these kind of things desensitize me to where I just go, oh, another shooting. Where before I'm like, oh my gosh, children got shot. And it would hurt me a lot so more in my heart. Now it seems like I'm being apathetic. I'm just like, oh, another shooting. It doesn't hit me like it did before. Being desensitized, and it's killing my conscience. And I'm like, that's a red flag for me right there. That not to let our consciences get killed, where we don't have the feelings like that. Yeah, my heart goes out to anybody that's suffering and has suffered losses, and may find peace that surpasses all understanding in Yahushua HaMashiach.
Appreciate that, brother, indeed. All right, Frankie B.
Yeah, I agree with Anthony and Daryl. We just really got to remember to walk in love, share the love that Yah has put in our heart, and just be a display of unconditional love, forgiveness, mercy, His grace, and our hearts do go out to those that have suffered loss in every one of these events that we brought up on this show.
Amen.
It's not a light subject. It's an attack on humanity, and we're just trying to let people know that God sent His only Son to die for us so that we can have reconciliation and we can receive His love, His forgiveness, His mercy, and His grace. And that's all the show's about. Just sharing the love of the Father. So I just say Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Enjoy your Sabbath. And just remember, this time has been set apart to spend with the Father. So it's not just, a time not to rest. It is a time to rest, but it's also a time to engage with your Creator, to ask Him questions, to seek His truth, to dig deep. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thanks, brother, indeed. All right, Marsha, you never got to say hello, but we're glad you joined us and gave us your 2 cents. And had that conversation with us. But yeah, if you'd like to say goodbye.
Yeah. First, hi, and then Shabbat Shalom. I think these things that are going on are to create chaos and to try and even divide. And it's sad, but as Frankie said, it's an attack on humanity, and that has been from the beginning. So, and yes, my heart goes out to anybody that has suffered loss, whether it be through this or anything else. So, anyway, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Perfect.
Hey, Vader Bear, real quick, I forgot one thing. I forgot earlier, actually. I wanted to shout out somebody. I wanted to shout out Austin for doing an extravagant job on his coverage of the Waco thing. I don't know how quickly he put that together, but if he had actually been doing it for years, that was an amazing job. Appreciate you, Austin. Hopefully you hear this one day. Shout out to you, brother.
Sweet. And yeah, so first of all, I'm gonna do a quick things. I kind of did that a little backwards this time, but it's fine. I'll just use my time as I'm saying goodbye to go through a little housekeeping and read some comments out. So bear with me. The first, and pull this up. Boom. So the first thing, we're actually 492, so only 8 away. Remember, leave a comment on a video, be subscribed at 500 plus. If you've left a comment and you are subscribed, you are going to be entered in to win a really nice shofar that we are going to send to you. So make sure, if you don't want the shofar, you want something else, go vote on the Take on the World. You just go to the community part. But yeah, we're so close. We appreciate all of those 492 people that have subscribed with us and those that watch not only live and are in the chat. You guys are awesome. All the new faces I see, y'all are so awesome. Welcome to the family. And to everyone, remember, we have that Discord link in there. If you want to have chats, after, we always do an after show where we kind of come together and kind of talk about things that we may not be able to say directly on the stream. But in Discord, we can have those conversations. So we'd love to join you there. Again, link is in the description. But we always read the comments from the last videos. We got it quite a bit this time, so I'm going to go ahead and give some love. And then let's get this a little bit bigger so everyone can see. So it says, whoa, sorry about that. That may be a little bit too big. Nope, that looks good. Okay, thank you. So let's start from the bottom. We have Pearl Picker say Jasher. That's in Jasher. And then Mugla said, thank you, Mugla. You're so awesome. We have Marsha says, love you all and love your show. We love you and love that when you're on our show. And then Nick, Infinity to Split 456 said, it was interesting listening to a segment of 119 to 126 where the prophecy Jeremiah verse 2:5 falling was being read, which lists all the nations the kings is appointed to Yahweh's wrath, destruction, and other writings in Jeremiah BC. And then it has a list of all the things that are conquered. Although since some writings of Jeremiah, all these prayers have been fully destroyed and dismantled from their former state, somehow this prophecy remains unfulfilled. And in the futurist eschatology, I don't really get it. Yeah, because they're not fully destroyed because those places are still uninhabitable, and in many descriptions it says those places will not be inhabitable by humans. So it describes what can inhabit in those places. But anyways, we also have Galade, and it looks like kind of saying 10. It says, hey, I was honestly shocked no one on the panel mentioned the investigating bottom in the series by Sean Griffin when discussing was focused on Babylon. Honestly couldn't believe it. I definitely believe Sean nailed it. I was curious as why no one said anything about it. Truly baffling. Instead, it was a very interesting discussion. Shalom, Israel. So, actually, that series was going on. When that series was going on, I was just then being introduced to Sean. So when Jaron had his discussion with Sean, that's when I or had that debate with Sean. That's when I actually learned of Sean. So that's why we went back and specifically had Sean on in our show because of that. And I did specifically call out to him during those times and ask him questions of his different thoughts. Now we do have some different thoughts. I don't think that the sting is the mark of the beast. I think that the mark of beast is going to be offered to those who have the sting because they're being tortured. But yeah, and we do talk quite a bit about Sean. He's awesome. He comes on. He definitely joins us sometimes even on the panels just to talk about different things and in the after show. So we love Sean here for sure. And then Anthony Dickinson said, "Thank you all and many blessings to you all. I'm grateful for having a family such as this. I love you all. Definitely 100%. And then we had 2 replies. Much love to you as well, Anthony. Shalom, my brother. So I don't know why it won't show me. Maybe that is a reply. It's kind of weird, right? But anyways, and then over on Take on the World, we had a few. We had Joe Dare say Kathleen Gwynn sent me. Awesome. Thank you again, Kathleen. Kathleen sent me again. That's awesome. I am totally reading the wrong one. I am such a noob. Guys, I apologize. Let me switch these. I apologize that, guys. It's promise, and I even went to the wrong one here. I apologize, and now it's taking up my whole screen. I very much apologize. Give me a brief second, people. And of course it's playing. On somewhere where there it is. Sorry, guys. Here's Take on the World, and let's go to here. Appreciate the patience there, guys. And let's go down here. I'm such a noob, guys. So always like the video. That helps. And then we have Moonglow say thank you. I really do appreciate you, Moonglow, for always showing up and giving some love. And is this for the correct episode? I apologize, everyone. It won't tell me what the name of the... Let's go all the way down here. There we go. Okay, so Marcia said, awesome outro, Vader. Great job. Appreciate it. Bill, well, he's awesome. Always see him over in Austin's chat, who said, who can give me the biblical description of meditation, not the mainstream 6-leg cross-folded hands out saying Om over and over. I'll give you the correct answer in about 12 hours. I don't know. My just off the dome would be meditation towards the creator, like, or focus on the creator. Maybe even rest, like, Shabbat, or like, that's interesting. Anyways, yeah, I'd love the reply. I'd love to see it. I'll put my guess in and reply and hopefully get back from me. Anyways, sorry guys, that took too long. Last thing, again, 5 to free Anthony. It would be super awesome. Thanks again for those that continue to donate. He's up to 1,005. So push ahead, and if you can, if you have $5, $10, anything to donate, throw it his way. It'd really help him out. And again, if you have any information or questions other than what's here, Anthony would be willing to answer it for you. But anyways, I am gonna say our goodbyes and wrap us up. So I appreciate y'all for being here, all those that like, subscribe, and comment, and getting pumped for that 500 milestone. I really do appreciate those that watch later, and all the thumbs up, and just the community, all those that have the conversations, text and voice and Discord. It's really awesome to see the community continue to grow. So I appreciate being a part of that, and I hope that you liked our coverage on this topic. And of course, we'll have more conversations like this in the future. But for now, I think we and definitely Anthony summarized it by saying, anytime there's loss of life, definitely when it's taken from a person, it is something to be mourned. It is something to take time to think about, and be grateful for the life that the Father has given you, and be grateful for every second and minute of that. And especially tomorrow, because He's given this day of rest, that you focus on Him and that relationship that you have with Him. We love you so much, and we appreciate you, and we hope you have a great Shabbat and a great week coming up. And other than that, y'all have a great night.
It's your glory, conceal the mystery. You give us the honor to search a matter. You raise up a standard to beat back our enemy. You establish this realm, and like a scroll you spread it out. Dig deep, search it out. Dig deep, seek it out. Dig deep, go on and walk it out. Dig deep, I give you oil to fill up your cup.